We'll call the meeting on 7 p.m. And so it's a reminder for everyone, tonight's meeting will be video recorded for members. If they're curious about what's going on tonight, and if they want to see it later on, then they can watch it on our chamber YouTube channel. And so the first line item is the AGM agenda adoptions. I need someone to move it. Ryan and Lloyd. That's my pen. So the last AGM minutes we've accepted. Anyone? Ryan? And Monica? Okay. Okay, so President report. I have sent out an email summary about what the chamber did in 2016. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's going to take a little bit time to do that. And but just to summarize it, the chamber, in the short 12 months, the chamber did quite a bit this year. So in the first 3 months, we host the speaker series, and we invited different people with different background, experience in bigger community, smaller community. People have different political background or experience. People from local, used to be local government or provincial level or the federal level. So overall, it's a big success. In the 3 speaker series, we have we sold more than 400 tickets, and residents are very interested to hear all these inputs and ideas from different leaders from different level. And so the chambers really have pulled the community together for the insight and constructive conversations about how we can collaborate and improve the community. So the second thing that we did is the Chamber of Commerce in March, actually that is in March, and we host a local economic development workshop in Cove. So we have people from different organizations join us for that, and we love that. And the next one we hosted in June is a community safety day. So thank you with the support from VC Protection Services, and Jason really helped us out to make connections with different companies, especially company that actually do security cameras, installing alarm systems, and we also have Crime Stoppers, search and rescue, all these different community groups or private companies who come in and talk about public safeties and all that. So we have about 300 people go to the event throughout the day, and we are really pleased to see the result. So the next event that we do is in July, and actually what the chamber did is we are one of the main sponsors for the Canada Day event, hosted by the Fraser Valley Regional District, and it's a really nice event. And we close up. The day was ended by a wonderful firework, and if anyone wants to see the firework again, it's on the Chamber of Commerce YouTube page. So the next thing that we did is this year we are the host for the Great Fraser River Salmon Barbecue competitions. So all the proceeds of the event actually go to search and rescue, and we have successfully raised $4,000 for search and rescue. And after we deduct the prize money and all the operation expenses, like if we have to buy tablecloths, supplies, and all that, so all the proceeds was donated to search and rescue. And recently, the event has been nominated as the best concept category in the small business BC Awards. And I heard the Donald Stroh, who is also part of the organizer, told me that there will be some exciting announcement on Monday about this nomination. So stay tuned for that. So in November, and it's still going, the Chamber is actually doing the Passport of Christmas. And it is a great event to support the bi-local concept. And so with all the great prices and prize money, I think yeah, it really get people to engage and be interested. And all the chambers that participate in this year's program will receive a 20% discount. And it's 6 years of this event, and we're happy to see more and more businesses involved in this exciting program. And to summarize the whole year, it's been a great year for the Chamber. Consider our funding model is 100% non-profit with zero government funding. By operating a budget actually less than $40,000, we have achieved a handful of events in the year. I'm very proud of the hard work by our board of directors, and also some of the board of directors that actually give the community through the year, and they are Adam Perry, Isaiah Robinson, and they give the community for different, pursuing different opportunities. But during these events, they have contributed a lot, and also, of course, our existing board member, and also I would thank all the volunteers who have contributed their energies, especially the first, the event, the three speaker series that we hold in the first quarter of the year, where we have to feed 150 people in one evening. Without help from the volunteers, it's impossible to make that happen. And we're only charging $10 per ticket. So, so that's why I'm very proud of what we have done this year. So this is my personal report of this year. So the next subject is our financial report.
I don't see any minutes from the last AGM. I see an agenda, but not minutes. I've got a letter from Denise Monson, who was elected a director at the last AGM. It doesn't appear in the minutes.
It's on number 5. Yeah.
I see an agenda, I think.
It's on the second page.
Was elected as board director. Okay, so Denise's letter says that she tried to find out when the next meeting was. She made several attempts.
Are you a member?
No, hang on.
She made several
Denise
attempts.
Bonson, I think,
Yeah.
became a director.
She made
And
several
then,
attempts.
and 3 days later, resigned again.
She didn't resign.
But
She never resigned.
I think they.
She was representing the Blue Moose, and the Blue Moose is no longer a member.
At the time, I think Denise was under the impression that that she was, and that
So
Blue Moose was a member.
if any representative belongs to an organization besides the Chamber of Commerce, their directorships will be automatically forfeit.
And Blue Moose would say that they didn't
They put it on the newspaper.
Oh,
But they didn't submit the letter to you.
They put it on the newspaper.
They didn't
and
submit the letter
She
to
did send
you.
me. I did receive a letter from Mr. Burke.
Pardon me? Oh, she was running as an individual.
She's not even a
Sorry.
member at that moment. So
She was running as an individual.
she's not even a member at that moment.
I have a letter that says that she was elected.
But
And
she's
she
not a
did
member.
not resign.
She was not a member, an individual member.
Well, I think she would just.
I think if she come in here and speak on herself, you
She's
will.
unfortunately,
if you're holding a letter from someone else and keep asking questions, we are not going to create a result of these conversations.
Okay,
I
well,
hope you understand that.
She had another commitment.
We have
and
an agenda to move on. If you can,
I'd like to submit this into the
I-
record of the AGM.
I
Denise's
mean-
letter.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
give it to me,
okay.
but I mean, just another piece of paper in my hand. probably.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so so the next item is the financial report, and under the Board of Trade Acts, actually what we have to do is if we actually have our financial statement provided by an accountant, then and if the board and the members accept it, then we can accept that financial report. So I will put the motion. Should we accept it? The first challenge. Okay, so we'll move that. Yeah.
How come there's two sets of financial statements? What's the difference?
Pardon me?
There's two sets of financial statements.
Who created financial statement? Oh, one is a balance sheet and one is an income statement. One is a balance sheet and one is an income statement.
No, there's two different sets.
One is our general meeting material. The other one is the AGM material. So the AGM is for our fiscal year, but the other one is our regular meeting balance sheet and statements. So I think if you click in your AGM packages, it makes sense for me. Yeah. If you need more time to understand it, I can talk to you after the meeting. But
I'll ask later on.
oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. So we will move the financial report. So so the next item is the director status. So right now there are 4 director vacancies, and the term of the executive is up, and positions will be elected as the first general meeting before the board of directors. So we will fill the director vacancy first. So that means in our first general meeting, then we will decide who will be the president, vice president, and all the other executives. So
And I have another point of order.
I'm sorry, but I
submitted
really
an
have to.
application,
Yeah.
that I printed off the chamber website on
Yeah.
September the 22nd, and I
Mhm.
submitted it with the amount of
I
money
think
for
we
last year.
have. I
and
think
the
we
amount
have
of
our
money for this
administrative
year.
assistant send you the email to explain to you the reason why we do not accept individual
And I
chamber
don't-
memberships already. And this is not the
That-
avenue.
Yes, it is
and
actually,
you
yeah.
are actually taking
It's
so much time
exactly
of
the
this
avenue.
meeting.
The annual general meeting
And
is
you just keep
precisely-
standing up and keep asking questions. It's not going to help us to go anywhere.
The change that you made.
Because you don't let me
The
finish.
change that you made is
Thank
in
you.
contravention of your bylaws. The bylaws state that you must make changes to the bylaws, and the change that you made to remove individual memberships from
We
the
made
chamber
that, we,
was not made at a general meeting.
it was made in the general meeting.
No,
in
it wasn't.
October.
Your minutes say board of directors meeting. A general
general
meeting is
meeting-
very different.
A general meeting is when we have a directors in the room. That's
No,
us.
it is the general.
No, it isn't.
No, this is not this is the annual general meeting.
A general
When
meeting
we-
is
when we
advertised
bring-
specifically to the
No,
members.
when we have to change the bylaw, if you go to the last pages, bylaw can be changes in the general meetings.
No,
And you did not call a general meeting.
No,
this is a general meeting.
no, that's the difference between an annual general meeting and a general
You
meeting.
did not call a general meeting to make the change to the bylaw. You made it at a board of
No,
directors
this
meeting.
is the AGM, this is the annual general
Right.
meeting.
We're changing.
But the bylaw can be changed in a general meeting.
And you
Would
did
you be the
not
same as-
call.
And I think you
You did not
keep
call a
getting
general
confused
meeting.
that
I'm
we
not confused at
are
all.
operating under the Board of Trade Acts, and you are
You're
talking
operating
about,
under your bylaws. That's what you're supposed to operate under. Your
and
bylaws are
also
very
coordinate with the
specific.
Board of Trade Acts.
No,
Your bylaws supersede the Board of Trade Act.
I'm sorry, I mean, I really have no time for this.
you should have time for it.
That's
It's
the
the
number.
We're the
Yes.
members. You have to have time for it. I contend that I submitted a membership in good faith at a time when you were accepting individual members, and you have not made a change to your bylaws.
Yeah, because when you submit it, we are in the process of changing it, so
You didn't change it.
we were in the process. The
You
first time we
didn't
brought up
change
this
it.
conversation is in our August general meeting. And then in our August general meeting, when Hank submitted the recommendations, we put this in considerations, and in October, we make that changes.
It wasn't
I mean,
printed and circulated to the
At your
members.
board of directors
Your
meeting
game
in
can
August,
be
there wasn't
operate,
one.
I mean, you can You can download our minutes and our records.
But the minutes weren't posted at the time before the decision was made. So as a member, we didn't know that the executive was contemplating this change. And your bylaws clearly state that for that type of change, you need to minute it, and that the members need to know about it.
No, I mean,
And then they have the option of appearing at the next general meeting. I agree with you that it's at a general meeting, not an annual general meeting. But clearly the bylaws state
we
that it
have
needs to be
posted
minute.
our minutes before our meeting, and members, if they're curious about what is the meeting is about, you can post it. And I think by all means, someone from your group yesterday have posted our meeting minutes on the social media and help us advertise this AGM, so you guys know where to obtain those minutes.
Yes, and they weren't there.
They were there because last time you guys know where to find them.
They weren't there prior to the meeting that you took the decision. And
I'm not going to debate with you about the timeline right now because once again,
I have a point of order on this. Under your articles with BOC, Board of Trade Act, any changes under this section in the category you're in need to be approved by the minister. You can't just change your constitution.
no, any local bylaws the chamber
No,
are
you
not
can't.
make the decisions.
You cannot change nothing because you're section 2.
No, I'm not going to track on with this, so
I
we
would,
don't.
point of order, I'd like to move that we end this debate, like this discussion.
You can take
somewhere else.
You can, and this
That's why you have the general membership invited. And if there is
Well, then,
something
what
you
is
have to
Listen, what is the answer?
I'm listening to this, but we are not getting any. Yeah, we are not
Why are
getting
you
anywhere.
excluding people from joining your club?
Because this is organizations.
You haven't done that because you haven't changed your
This is
bylaws.
organizations actually representing the voice of the business, and the voice of business means people operating a business, and we also invited non-profit society or any government groups if they want to have a voice in the Chamber of Commerce, then we allow that. But to have individual applying into the board,
If you sell
it will. Self-employed, if they have a company name, they can provide a
They don't have
company
to
name.
be a company name to be self-employed.
Yeah, they can provide
The
what business
rationale-
they're doing.
The rationale, I hear that you have an argument for it, I'm maintaining that you have not made the change. You didn't do it at a general meeting, you did it at a board meeting.
In
And the
our
board meeting that you introduced it at,
general
there
meetings,
was not a quorum.
you are picking the words right now.
I'm
Our
not
general
picking
meetings is
anything, I'm
included our
asking
board
you to
meeting.
adhere to
In
your
your
bylaws.
definitions.
I'm asking you to adhere to your bylaws, I'm not being.
I am
Copy of your
following.
bylaws here.
Pardon
Do
me?
you have a copy of your bylaws?
I have a copy of my
I
bylaws.
think it's section 46 that they're referring to.
And it's really clear about what a general meeting is and how you call one. And I know, Lloyd, you
And
know
47.
that, how important it is to adhere to bylaws.
Well, what troubles me, quite frankly, is that I feel the chamber has done a really great job last year. And that's sort of, to me, is the focus. Now we've got some, and it's the small town that hope they're all the same. Small towns the same, whether it's the town I live in, which is Suffolk, or here. And I did a chart of this a couple weeks ago. 99.6% of all people are good people, no question. But the 0.4 are petty, negative, cancerous people. The problem is, of the 99.6, they're all very passive. They just want to go nice and don't go out too much or get too engaged with controversy or whatever. So often that 0.4 eats up the 99.6. And what I see happening, the chamber is self-funded and tries to do positive things in the community. I don't know what can be wrong with that, I have no idea. But we end up these AGMs, last year I can't remember, I was at the computer or something, I wasn't here, I don't know why.
No, your in-law, your ER.
I don't know, doesn't matter, I wasn't here.
And my daughter saw you in the ER.
Okay, that's all, okay.
Lloyd, you may be wanting to accuse me of being petty and acidic. I'm asking the chamber to
No, I would
adhere
never
to their
accuse anybody of
bylaws.
that ever, but I'd like to point out the different personalities that will maybe move the town forward or block it, and the purpose of function. It's up to the individual to determine where they fit. I would never be required to suggest anybody fit either one of them. But I do think it's a fact. That's what happens, my observation, in a rather lengthy life with any small town, is with the same principles, the same numbers attached, and the same things come forward. And so what troubles me is that, you know what, I went through this last January with the chamber. went to a meeting, and Steve and I, and the six finance folk. As soon as I went in, with trouble right away, which is against any way I would ever function, we were here, and 6 of them were sitting there, and right after that, now you've got a war zone set up.
We're definitely veering off the subject.
I am, but I'm making a
would like
point
to
of what's
get back
happening
to
here.
Why
I'm
you
making
are
a point
not
of what's
adhering
happening
to the
here.
bylaws.
You know what, you guys are gonna have to do what you're gonna do.
We're members of the chamber.
I don't see
Why-
anybody here
why
that's
is
trying
it we
to
do
pick the nits out of the pepper here. Anybody here that I ever see doing make positive things, making things move forward, when the chamber's taking their own money and not going into tax dollars bin to do it.
The
And all of a
members'
sudden
money.
we
That
go-
is not what I'm talking about.
Well, that's what
The
I'm talking
members
about.
are paying the members' money, and the members are sitting.
Okay, so I'm not going to continue these conversations because it's not going to go anywhere. So we'll move to number 7, nomination of the new board of directors. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I've been a member of the chamber for 25, 30 years, for a very long time. And I have been on the board before, and then I've been just a member for many years. And I came back on the board about a year ago and attended an AGM that was a gong show. And I was asked to rejoin the board. And one of the first jobs I was given was, could I sort out the membership? It wasn't clear a year ago. I don't think nobody knew clearly who was a member and who wasn't a member. For the last 10 months, I've gone back through the records as much as I could, and more than 60 people, more than 70 members, have been able to retrieve and put them back in good order. Mainly through communication in the month between March and July, is letting people know the chamber is going to go back to working on a financial year, an annual year, a reporting year, which ends August 31st. And therefore any 2015-2016 memberships must be fully paid by August 31st, otherwise that membership lapses. That's my understanding. It would appear that I've missed a few people. When we planned for the new year, we set the new schedule of fees months ago already and simplified the system. And we decided to give, as we were required, 3 months notice. In other words, the year starts September 1st, that come the AGM in December, only those members that are paid up are members in good standing by November 30th. And that's what we've been working on. It would appear, and my apologies, I may have missed a few people, and for that I apologize. I don't know why, but it's happened. I missed one in particular, and I want to rectify that now. That's Glenn and Sabine. Welcome. They've been members for a number of years. Although they have missed the deadline of November 30th, they are now, as far as I'm concerned, back again as members in good standing, and I move that they be accepted as a voting member tonight.
Okay.
I so move.
Okay. I'll second that.
Hank, I was with you well. I spoke to you a year about that.
Sorry, no?
You unfortunately missed me as well. I did show you my.
I'm not trying to be picky to the letter of the law.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I believe in the spirit of the bylaws and constitutions, etc. Glenn handed us his application and his payment tonight. Technically, yes, he is a week late, and therefore he is not on our list. But that's why I can make an exception for that. Sorry, Don.
Okay.
You know, I like to have coffee with you, but I have nothing on which to base to make an exception, or any other case for the matter. All I can do is apologize,
Your apologies.
and I will help try and put it right. Okay? I'm still going to be around. Sorry.
Hi there, I'm another one. I wasn't notified of the meetings. I'll give it back to my records
don't recall, but in the months past, between February and July, I made a number of calls and I sent out 70-some letters. And as I say, if you were not on the records that I received, I can only go by records that I was given to try and figure out who was and what was not.
Well, in the past.
And I do not recall at this point, but
But in the past, it sounds to me as though if you haven't paid by now, you're not allowed to be a member this year. In the past, they've allowed people who have come in after the year end to prorate it for the following year and pay that amount, give it the same remainder of the year. Is that something that you've changed?
there have been different systems in the past, and I cannot neither accept credit nor responsibility for what happened in the past.
So if someone moved.
The records that I was given.
If a new business person moved to Hope tomorrow and wanted to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce, they would have to wait.
They
till
can
next year?
become a member. No, they become a member and then it's prorated.
Okay.
If a quarter of the year has passed, and therefore the people that I did contact and did pay for that part of the year, for the 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, in 2015-16 year, were therefore paid up members as of August 31st. What happens at August 31st, those that had not reacted to my letter or phone call or whatever,
Or didn't get one?
then, well, if you didn't get one, I apologize, but
I
then
know. Well, I'm
I
just saying
mean
that
it. I
it's-
seriously, I can go back. Please come and see me tomorrow and I'll look back, but then you were not on the records that I was given. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Because I
That's fine. I'm
contacted
just making
everybody
sure
that was
that if-
given to me the knowledge of which
I think the motivation for myself is, I started about 2 months ago trying to approach.
approach me.
No.
No.
No, the chamber,
Okay.
and I was totally unsuccessful. Phone calls, no, I was never called back. I went to your office a dozen times.
2 months.
Oh, no, not
Okay.
your
Oh,
office.
the chamber office.
Chamber
Okay,
office.
sorry.
There's nothing on the door that says your hours, there's nothing on the door that says how to get in touch with you. Emails were never sent back to me, and that's my frustration. I have no
I
idea-
can
have no idea
understand,
that
I can
you really
understand,
gotta go
and
otherwise-
obviously there is still a number of things that we do have to sort out.
Okay.
All I can say is, and some other items have come up,
So we do have the opportunity to join now.
absolutely.
Not right now.
Well,
Obviously, for this year.
we cannot hold up tonight and say, yeah, we suddenly, then we'll be here till midnight, but
Hank, yeah, is carry on. Yeah.
Sorry.
So Hans, you will help us to host the elections?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we have, and we have 5 nominations in our list, and Hans will conduct the elections right now.
Question, do we have ballots?
Use this.
Stephen, sorry, before you conduct the election, I just want to say for the record, I brought this up last year, I'm going to bring it up again, that according to your bylaws, directors need to be elected at an AGM. I know the chamber has taken up the practice of appointing directors for 2-year terms. I don't believe that's in accordance with your bylaws. When I read the bylaws, it's very clear that if you make those type of appointments, they're interim appointments, and that those positions need to be elected at the AGM. I know you disagree with that. You referred me back to the bylaws last year when I brought it up. I went to the bylaws, I checked it, that's what it says, and I just wanted to bring that forward again.
I'll stand by what I mentioned last year. Even interim nominations will be with a 2-year term.
Can you just indicate in the bylaws where that's appropriate? the bylaws, that you're allowed to appoint directors for a 2-year term.
Yeah, in the
What part of the
bylaw,
bylaws?
in the bylaw it's stated that if we have a vacancy, then we can nominate in our board. There's 2 ways to nominate a chamber director. The first way is when we have a vacancy, we will fill them up, that vacancy. The second way is if we have vacancy during the AGM, then we will elect those directors in the AGM. So it offers the flexibility for the chamber to fill our directorship in case there's a vacancy. And it's stated in the bylaw. And if you ask me to pick through it right now, I can take my time to go through it.
Yeah.
I can point to section 19, which is the section that I pointed to that states that 12 of whom are, the board of directors comprises a total of 13 members, 12 of whom are elected at the Chamber's annual general meeting in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of the Hope District Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, and I know there's another sections actually saying that when there's a vacancy, we can when we have someone in our nominations or our list, we can fill them in right away. And
Typically, you wouldn't fill a vacancy just a few days before your first advertised AGM, which was toward the end of October. I realize the date changed, but the people were appointed just prior to that date.
yeah,
But with the AGM coming up, you would.
we still have vacancy tonight. Like if you would like to be a director, I mean, obviously,
Well, you invited me to do that, but you have excluded me from becoming a member.
Oh, I mean, you have to.
You say I'm excluded. I don't think I am, but.
Yeah, and I think we can talk about this after the AGM, and if you belong to a self-employed company or an organization, then you can submit applications.
You know, I think you kind of missed the point about what an
I
AGM
understand your
is.
point, but we're just viewing on the same point, so I'll keep giving you the same answer. Because we are not going to have any constructive conversations going on like that.
I think it's great that the 4 people that you're appointed want to participate in the chamber. I think that's wonderful, and I would never discourage anybody from pitching up. I've been involved in was involved in the chamber for many, many years, a long time ago. I just believe that the process needs to be respected.
Oh, we can maybe over the next year, the new board can decide if they want to review the bylaws or if they want to revise it. That's not what we decide, but yeah, we can certainly put this in our agenda for next year projects, but that's up to the new president or the new board what we decide to do.
Reviewing the bylaws is great, but just when you're making a change, make it as per the bylaws, because you haven't made the change that you think you have. And the directors that you've appointed are not being appointed as per the bylaws. They should be elected tonight,
Okay.
and I hope they are.
Okay.
I think you guys seem to be forgetting that the members are here to be answering to you. And that if we have questions, it is your job to answer the questions. If we have concerns, it's your job to alleviate and address our concerns. And not to shut down when people have questions and concerns.
I'm not trying to shut down, but
Yeah,
we
you
just
are.
keep
You're constantly
circulating
rushing
with the
people
same questions, and we truly
But you're not
understand what is your
answering them.
intent and what's the point
You're not-
because we're not developing a platform to creating a constructive conversations. You come in with an intent and understand where is your hidden agenda. So, and eventually we keep circulating the same conversations over and over again.
Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion, a positive suggestion?
You guys can stand up and say whatever you want when you guys have a chance, so
It's okay.
just say it, yeah, that's
No,
fine.
it's positive, because as a chair, I had to learn this whole stuff, like, it's foreign to me totally.
Yeah.
And I had helped to understand terms and bylaws. And it may be really helpful for the whole board to review bylaws and understand terms. Because I always thought a general meeting was the regular monthly meeting, and it isn't. The AGM and the general meeting are the same thing. and your monthly meetings are a meeting of directors.
The AGM and the general meeting is not the same thing.
Well, they don't even call it an AGM in the bylaws. They call it a general meeting. And that's what always
They
confused
call it
me.
an annual general meeting. They put it very specific.
Okay.
So if you try to
Okay.
take words out of the context, then
No,
I
I'm
cannot.
not,
yeah,
I went through it. And
yeah.
I'm just suggesting that a review with
We
somebody.
can certainly review the bylaw,
To
the
help
wordings.
That's, no, Stephen, she made a good suggestion, and that's, I second that
Thank you.
suggestion,
Yeah.
that next year, that we get somebody in, a parliamentarian, and to explain and help the board, whoever they are,
Whoever they are.
Yeah.
learn to do their job better.
Because
It's always good.
all these
and-
words.
and-
I would like to have you all refer to section 20. Some of you do have a copy of the bylaws, and it says, where a member of the board dies or resigns his office or is absent from 3 consecutive meetings of the board may, at any meeting thereof, elect a member of the corporation to be a member of the board in the place of the member who died, resigned, or is absent.
But that person would have been elected at an AGM.
No,
Oh, it's a board meeting.
Could appoint.
Yes,
Board
but
appoint.
the original.
So now you are
person
changing the
resigned
bylaw.
Or
Now you're
died.
changing our bylaw.
Resigned or died or was absent from more than 3
Yes, and
meetings.
so you can make that interim appointment.
Yes.
Doesn't say
Absolutely.
interim, does
It
it
doesn't
say?
Doesn't say
interim.
interim at all. You find the word interim in there,
I
please.
just had a question about that. If you're taking the place of someone, so let's say, so Adam Perry resigned, and so obviously his position is filled. Would then the person who filled that position, would their term end when Adam Perry's ended, because they're filling Adam Perry's position?
So since usually I'll just give them a 2 years renewal so that we can have that person completed the board, so that we can make sure that that person has a career ongoing. So,
I would just worry just based on the bylaw, if you're taking someone's spot, if you're.
no, once again, right? I mean, this is not something stated in the bylaw, so as the president, I make that decisions. So we give them the 2-year terms and we just follow that. So it's been, the past president has been doing it, so I'm just following. So if a certain time we need to review the bylaws, then we can put this into our agenda for the next coming year. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the work that the chamber has been done in the last 12
That's
months,
not what I was
we
actually just
need to
asking
find
if
out.
you're.
No, Stephen, she asked a legitimate question, and he answered it, he said that,
Yeah, but if that's
yes,
your, I
so
would
that's
just
it.
clarify
Yeah,
your
and-
interpretation, I
Yeah,
think you
thanks.
guys have done an amazing job over the last year, you've done some incredible things, and I would just ask you.
Yep,
your
so we can put
interpretation
this
of
in
the bylaw.
our working
Sorry,
progress, please.
I would appreciate if you wouldn't assume that I'm, because I asked a question, that I'm.
Well, I'm going to assume there's some facts in the room already, so. Yeah.
We're gonna go on with the election.
Yes.
I
Yes,
have
please,
no
yeah.
way of asking for a show of hands. I have 5 names and
Yeah.
only 4.
So you only lift your arm 4 times instead of 4, 3, or 2, or 1, but not 5.
Okay, well, let's try that. Everybody that has one of these red cards is a voting member.
Go name by name, huh?
And only members are allowed to vote. So if you're not a member, or if you're second with the same outfit, with the same organization, with the same business, you can only vote once, or one of 2 if you're 2 of you here. Okay. To elect Ryan Mole, owner of RM Trailer Limited, please show your signs if you.
We have some about
6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17. Lloyd Foreman, who is in the audience. Of course, 1, 2.
What will we do now?
Lloyd Foreman. 1, 2,
So
3,
we,
4,
the
5,
board will decide who's president for the next meeting.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Your bylaws
11,
determine
12, 13, 14. 14, do they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The membership elects the president if it's a vacant position. The directors don't decide who becomes the president from within themselves, according to your bylaws that you have on your website.
And my next?
Here.
Okay.
I am severely confused. So
Paul?
it's my first meeting coming to this, and I'm really confused. And I don't, I've been on a number of different boards and things, and I don't understand how this is going down the years. I'm not even sure what you're for.
This people goes this way. I'm neutral. What can I tell you? While we have Lenny interrupted, I would like to thank Hillary for coming. Hillary is a past president of this chamber, and I hope you become a member.
I'd love to, but they are telling me I can't, Tom.
Paul, stop.
I did. And you haven't.
1, 2,
Stop.
3.
Most of last year.
Let's put it over, sorry. 1, 2, 3,
Who we doing?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Larry Russell, owner Global International Cuisine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Shirley Corbell, District of Hope Ratepayers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is it. Thank you all.
What are the results?
We have to.
There's the results.
Okay, the results are Ryan, 17, Lloyd, 14, Paul, 18, Larry, 14, Shirley, 8. Shirley is going to be
Some boards for every one of them.
No, it's 4 out of 5. 4 positions.
I saw more than, I saw one person for sure.
You have an argument with me?
No,
Okay.
I'm still.
So just to clarify, so the lotteries that one event in the AGM will be listed on the list. If any director vacancies become available. So now we're on item number 8. Question time.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I thought that there were a number of positions that were, that the terms were up for people.
Yeah, we just, that is the 4 spots that we have for the
Okay,
vacancies.
that's what we just voted for.
Yeah, that's what we just voted for, yeah.
Are they specific positions within the board that we just voted for?
The specific decisions, the specific positions will be decided in the first general meeting. So that, yeah, because it's between the 13 people in the board to make that decisions. So whoever want to be the president, they will make that arrangement according to their wish. Because sometimes one of the challenge we find with members selecting the president is if the members decided the president is not the person that wants to be the president, then
Well, they have to.
How were you elected?
Anyone,
Okay.
How were you elected
nominate and
president?
accept, is that not how it works here? You
Did
nominate.
the membership elect you?
Excuse
or did
me,
the board of directors
can,
elect?
can we have one person finish and then another person?
I understand the way elections work, is that they say, with the president, we're nominating so-and-so, and that person accepts the nomination and somebody else, and then they vote on that, so, yeah. No. And same with directors, if whatever the position, secretary, president, it says that that person's being nominated as that position, the person then just then accepts the nomination, and then people vote. Or,
That's the nomination.
yeah, so I don't know why, is that different here? I'm not sure. The question.
I mean, tell you what frustrates me. We're a global group trying to accomplish some things, like, I accept the nomination, that makes you feel better, that changes the world in your world, and I accept the nomination.
What's the position though, like what?
The positions are set by the board, according to their bylaws. These people here nominate the board, the executive. So it doesn't happen off the floor. I don't care one way or another, frankly.
Excuse me, if I may add something, when I was nominated and elected to the board, it was a general meeting. And my name was, excuse me, my name was put forth, people voted, who were members, and it was agreed. The position I held didn't have a name to it, all right?
You're director.
I'm a director. I was nominated as a director.
Exactly.
Now, when we have our meeting, our next general meeting with the board, people will decide who wants to do which position. You can nominate somebody, but they have to be willing to do it.
Because I've been on like, for example, the Copenhagen Act, which is another meeting. The person has to be nominated for a specific position at the annual general meeting. They then either say, yeah, I'm willing to do that, or no, I'm not. And if they're not willing to do it, they need to go around until they find someone who's willing to do it, that they can vote in. My question was, is that different here?
It is different.
That's under the Society Act. We are not under the
Okay,
Society Act.
there's always different ways to do it. You can do it the way you said, or you can do it like the regional district. We get elected to the regional district, and then we vote amongst ourselves, who is our chair. It's not like
Apparently,
different ways
it's
of
here
doing
that
it.
your bylaws say that you can do the by position. That's what I'm hearing, so.
Okay, what's the question, Gene?
I just first off wanted to say that I don't want people to feel personally attacked.
It is, I'm sorry, but it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, my comments are not to personally attack someone. I'd like to thank everybody for volunteering. I volunteer a fair bit, and it's a very, very thankless task. So those who have volunteered for things you've done, I would personally like to thank you. I appreciate that. Hank, I think, feels personally attacked. I hope that what I say does not personally attack you. I'm trying to get a feeling on what's happening here for the first time to a meeting. And there's a lot of really, really unclear issues that I'm really trying to work through. So the election, what it sounds like, the group, the club, whatever, meets afterwards and it decides who does what. So a person's term, in theory, would never ever end. If they get voted into a 2-year term, and then just before that 2-year term is up, they get passed another term, to pass another 2 years, another 2 years. A person could, in theory, stay within the organization for 25 years and never ever be elected in that 25 years.
No.
Because, okay, so the people that are elected now, they are definitely stepped down, they're out in 2 years, or do they?
They have to be.
Well,
But
Jim, if I may say, the 2 people that
Yeah.
got re-elected tonight
Yeah.
actually stepped down earlier
That's why they're over
tonight,
there.
and they
finished their 2-year term,
So-
and then put themselves up for the election.
So
That's
the
allowed.
position they're filling, does anybody come out of another position, or do you guys juggle around at that point, who wants to be president, who wants to be that
Could be.
point?
Supposed to be
So,
secretary.
The term and director term is 2 years.
yeah,
And so,
So-
after 2 years, the person has to step down, but may put himself up and say, you know, I'm willing to serve another 2 years.
And let's say if Charlene have 1 year left.
That's
and-
allowed.
Let's say Charlene have 1 year left, and
Yeah.
the term is up next year, and then let's say she's a secretary, we rotate the executive role during the AGM or where we have to. It creates that flexibility for the Chamber of Commerce. Because once again, I think many people in this room have the misunderstanding that this is a body governed under the Society Act, and we are not. This is governed under the Board of Trade Act. It's a different thing, and we have very more flexibility on our structures because of the business life of people, the commitment, the company culture, company open, all that's happening in people's life, and we want to, and business people we want to create that flexibility, and that flexibility is there just for that specific reasons.
So the position in the Board of Trade Act and the Board of Trade Act you operate under, has that been put with your bylaws and made available on your?
The framework is under the Board of Trade Act, but each individual chamber will have their own specific bylaw. Depends on their own specific needs. Just like many Chamber of Commerce, they have the tourism center, so we have a tourism committee. So for us, we have a different organizations operating in tourism center. So that's why, I mean, for us, even in the bylaw, we say we have a tourism committee. We don't have the committee because we don't think it's necessary. And in the meantime, I mean, we have an economic development community and committee, and we use that committee quite often, but not in whole. But we have done some work in area A, area B area. And recently, we helped just start a grand Thai marketing plan up there, and they'll be open probably later this year, Q1. So these are the things that we do. We have some. What I'm trying to say is we have subcommittee, but it depends on what is the chamber needs at that moment, and we make the decisions and do the work accordingly.
So from what I understand, somebody can be appointed by the board as a director. They can be re-put into the president position at any point in time by the group, and then they can fill somebody else can fill another director's position, become the president next term. So in theory, you could have, and I'm not picking on you personally, but you could have the president's position changed for multiple years and never ever have an election for that position.
Because by the end of the day,
because they can be, you have members that have been automatic or have been appointed. So you can have president indefinitely that's been appointed only by the board and been put in by there and never ever have to.
Because by the end of the day, the term of that specific director will still out. So when it's out there,
but the president only does 2 years and then it gets over.
Yeah. But somebody else that has never been voted on by the group could be appointed as a director and be automatically appointed as a president.
Sure.
If there's a vacancy. Yeah, if there's a vacancy. Yeah, let's say if a secretary or executive want to resign.
I gotta read the Board of Trade Act because it's different than anything I've ever seen or heard of.
Oh, it's very different. Yeah, it's governed by the federal government, but not the provincial government. So, yeah.
Yes, I was wondering if, for the benefit of us all, if we could continue with the agenda and leave it to question and answer after the agenda is taken care of?
Or this way the agenda is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just make you one point first, because I think there's not many people have a close association with the Societies Act.
Yeah.
And it's just gone through a major transition. I do. I'm involved with probably 4 societies. And finally, the Societies Act has caught up to what's happening like, and they have a self-funded society, which the chamber is. If the chamber is provincially, one of the new designations, self-funded, and under self-funded, they can have one director. They don't show anybody their books. They can pay themselves what they like. They're self-funded, which just like you said, it makes sense fine. Because we have one up where I live, but it's that way. But it's very important.
Not self-funded, you never should fund it.
That's what the province has done.
But you still have to have a bylaw that's filed with the Societies Act. We're going to follow that. But he brought the Societies Act, and so there is some governing body that has regulation.
Self-funded is
Actually,
nobody said.
excuse me, what he said was if we were society, provincial, he was saying, giving an example about what
But even with that, there is some direction, there is some rules and regulations.
Yeah, and the higher government, whatever the higher government is, that rule beats any bylaw. Like if you can write a bylaw saying you gotta wear green entire government wins. It's like the age speeds whatever.
Okay, so,
Sorry, I just had so the Board of Trade Act would be above the bylaws then, is that what it's?
Yeah.
Okay.
but we can amend changes to the bylaw, so, okay, so, there's no more questions on German for the AGM? Yeah?
Can I come up there, please? Okay. We've got one. Balance sheet. Then we have another balance sheet. And another income statement. And they're completely different.
Okay, you can go back to the seat, I understand what you're asking.
No, she wants to understand.
I understand, yeah, I'll explain it when you go back to the seat. Okay, so you are looking at the financial year end for the Chamber of Commerce and the cutoff is on October 31st. The second document you are pointing at is the balance sheet and income statement starting from the beginning of the year up to the last month.
For the year ended December 31st.
So it's the next day,
For
yeah?
the year ended August 31st. So this is for the whole year.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one is much higher numbers. Doesn't really tell us what it is. Look at the difference in the numbers.
Because
So
you are
if
planning.
it's for 1 month or a couple of months, then this should say it's for, August. No, it shouldn't say for the year.
Because the fiscal year end finish on August 31st. So the cutoff of this financial document is on August 31st. And you're looking at a document basically starting
This one
out.
is for more than a year?
No, this is starting from this year, from September 1st. Because I think you should understand the day after August 31st is September 1st.
September,
Yeah.
October, November.
Yeah.
Then how come you've got huge amounts of more money in the bank for that?
Because we just received our membership renewal in the last few months. Yeah.
And how come the expenses and the revenue is much higher for the 3 months period?
Because we just renewed our memberships and we have the fund coming. Expenditure is just the office expenses and we have the silent barbecue money just given out and that's why it's in there. Yeah.
Okay, let's have another look at, so you have, let's say, the rent is 4,000 here, which is, this is for the year, or we have 1200.
I think we passed this subject already. We already accepted the financial statement. We already accepted the financial statement, and if you need more time to explain this, you can make an appointment
Just
and
one
we
more
can talk about
question.
it.
So you have the revenue for the insurance, for the member insurance. Where's the expenditures? I mean, don't you pay an insurance fund?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, if your member has insurance in a chamber, the chamber must have that insurance with the insurance company. Okay, and I can find an expenditure, they would pay.
No, we receive a commissions from it's not expenses. Yeah, that's why I think what you're asking requires a little bit is a different place.
Stop it, I'm not stupid.
I don't think he needs.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Just answer the question, don't give me lectures, okay? You don't
Yeah.
need that. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, if you find more facts before you ask your questions, then we don't need the lecture. Yeah.
Show some respect.
Oh, I have lots of respect with many people, yeah, and I choose the people.
We have another question.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Hi, thank you. I just want to introduce myself. I'm new to the community. With my whole family here from Japan, and I'm at the Evergreen Bed and Breakfast now. My name is Christian. Hello. Sorry, I just wanted to break things up because I don't know, it is festive season, right? And I was hoping, I don't know if it's normally this cheerful in here at the meeting. But I just wanted to, basically I wanted to ask a question pertaining to, from people that I haven't heard from yet. I'm just wondering, as to a person like myself, this is my first time in owning a business as a sole proprietor. And me and my wife have taken over, and someone that was very involved in the community. I myself would love to be involved in this community. Why would I want to join the chamber? The directors, possibly directors I haven't heard from yet, because I'd just love to hear your voice as much as I like the sound of my own voice. I'm sure you do too. Why would I want to join? Why did you join the chamber? Other people could say why they're doing it and help their community or such, but right now I'm just hearing a lot of people kind of going at each other about bylaws and such, and I understand you want to get your voice heard. I'm not meaning anybody here, but if I can hear from possibly 3 people as to why.
I'll tell you why I joined.
Yes.
I represent an animal rescue. I also represent senior citizens. I volunteer. I don't have a job. I am retired. And I was asked if I was interested in joining because I represent senior citizens, because I represent nonprofits, and because I also represent children. Those are my 3 passions in life, and tying in with businesses is very important. I come from a very strong business background. So that's why I joined. And when I was asked if I would be willing to be a director, I asked, why do you want me to be a director? And the answer that I was given was because I am plugged in to vulnerable populations, important facts. I have to honestly say that when I joined, and when I was asked if I would be interested in being a director, and I read through the bylaws, the responsibilities, I said, sure, piece of cake. And I can tell you honestly that I have worked my substantial butt off ever since I joined, because we are volunteer run, volunteer driven. We do what we do for the good of the community. We all love working here. I am sorry to see the schism in this community that there is. I find it very disconcerting, but I can tell you that the people that I've come in contact with through the chamber are awesome, and they do it all from here. Nobody makes a dime. Oh wait, I get the occasional free coffee at a meeting. So that's my point, is that people who are doing this are doing it from the heart. We don't make any money. In fact, most of us spend money on behalf. Like the salmon barbecue, it's a signature event, started with one man's idea, and it's becoming an amazing event. It has put us on the map. Nobody made a dime out of it. In fact, the person who started it put thousands of dollars of his own money into it. But it's all for the community. So as a new business owner, first of all, welcome. My daughter stayed there when the other person owned it. She loved it, so I see good things for you. But I think that if you want to get information about business, about how things work here, about what organizations you can get involved with, you can contact us. And yes, we have not been great about getting back to people. I just figured out how to use the phone. So we will try and do better. And as far as Hank is concerned, Hank, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but Hank inherited a dog's breakfast of paperwork.
After the dog had thrown it up.
After the dog threw it up, yes. So, and this is true, and I don't believe, knowing Hank the way that I know Hank, Hank didn't take it as a personal attack to me, okay? He tried his best to fix it, and it's hard to fix dog's breakfast.
I'm not finished yet.
I know. We'll be calling you tomorrow. But from my heart, I don't like to see conflict. at all. I think it's tragic that we have such a division in this community when we are all supposed to be working for the same end.
Agreed.
And some of the behavior of certain individuals who are here, your mother taught you better. Sorry.
When people talk, talk to me.
Thank you. That's great. I don't want to take up any more time. That was such a good, passionate speech. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, so our adjourn meeting for the AGM. Second.
What's the idea?
Adjourn the AGM?
You don't need a second.
No, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Thank you all for coming.
Are they not allowed to stay?
Yeah, you can stay. Yeah.
Thank
Another
you.
meeting right now?
Yeah, we move to the regular meeting. So directors physical 11 can come up. Yeah. Now it's the regular meeting. So yeah, audience, yeah, anybody can leave. Just the meeting right now. Yeah.
And those of you who voted, if you please return your card to us, that would be most appreciated.
We can use it for a motion.
So we can recycle it.